Good now, everyone. I hope this broadcast finds you well. Oh god, I've already got my Velina. Hold on, that's the wrong screen. Well, at least it shows that droid cam works. There we go. Yeah, anyway, I was like, good now, everyone. I hope this broadcast finds you well. My name is Artorius Winchester, Scholar of the Dreaming Glade, and welcome back to another edition of our VTuber cocktail series, where I make a couple of alcoholic cocktails, or mocktails, based on a couple of different VTubers. So yeah, welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. I have had a day, I shall say. Yeah, it's been a busy one. Been a busy week as a whole, actually, to be fair. Is our background music a bit loud? I think it might be. It's a bit loud in my ears. Just knock that down a little bit. There we are, just a smidge. So I can hear myself think there. There we go. Right. But yeah, I hope you all had a pleasant week. Like I say, I've had a busy one. It's been nary a week since our last cocktail stream. Because I've, as you probably noticed, been kind of just slipping further and further behind. So I thought, right, I'm going to do 2 in a row this month, you know, get us back on track with our 1 a month for this year. Keep to that, because it's been going well so far, and I've been learning a lot doing these streams as well, like, both in terms of the cocktails, you know, I'm making, in terms of, like, how presenting them can really make an impact. Like, our cocktails last week certainly made an impact. Let me once again thank Echo Gumi and Gummy. Damn it! Stop being Vocaloid-brained. Echo Gummy. And Crazy Ollie for retweeting those cocktails last week, which is the, yeah, well, I mean, it's by far and away the biggest tweet I've ever had. Which is cool, you know? Nice to see them liking it. And yeah, let's see if we can make another 2 cracking cocktails this week. I've got some ideas. We're leaning on the simpler end of things kind of this time. Purely because, like as I said, you know, I've had a bit less time to lab them with only a week between this last stream and the next stream. Did that make any sense? I think I got my tenses muddled. Between last week's stream and this week's stream is what I was aiming for. But yeah, I suppose I shall not keep anyone in suspense any longer, because we have 2 cocktails we need to make. Let's get right into it. Our first VTuber that we're making a cocktail for is none other than good friend of the stream and Clock Tower, not pacifist, but I'm not sure what the, like, ologist thing is for, like, you know what, we'll say pathological truther here, as opposed to pathological liar. I'm not sure that's quite right, but you get what I'm going for here. It is Undead Commander. So for those of you who've been around the streams a lot, you'll know Undead as the guy from our Clock Tower streams. One of the 2 Skelebros in those streams. Also, it's come to my attention that I have a lot of skeleton VTuber friends. This will come up later, but, you know, something to maybe keep in mind for now. But yeah, there he is, his good dapper self. Let's see about making a drink for him. So, our 4 sliders of, this is how the drink turned out in the end. So our first one, the bittersweet scale. We are looking at a kind of mid-sweet drink, kind of like, this drink definitely lands on the sweeter end of things, for sure. But I think there's enough other notes there where it's not like, you know, it's not like the Echo Gummy drink from last week, where we're just, you know, we're just shoveling an entire pick and mix into a glass. This, you know, this has got, you know, a bit more restraint than that, shall we say. So yeah, we're going kind of about mid on sweetness. We're also going, like, I think that should be a bit further up, actually, but we're going about kind of, like, mid on strength. Yeah, I would personally put that bar a little further up. But evidently me earlier, who was making this PowerPoint, didn't agree, and then went for a nap for 3 hours, when I had stuff to do. But hey-ho. Yeah, so we're looking about, like, you know, like, let's say, kind of middle-of-the-road strength, you know, not as strong as it is sweet on those bars, although what that translates to in an actual real-world context, because you're trying to equate alcohol by volume to sweetness, is just something else entirely. But, yeah, look, long story short, the bar should be a little bit further to the right. With regards to complexity, dead simple drink, this one. Yeah, there's, like, a couple of, I realised one of my ingredients is on the wrong side of my table. Yeah, Not too hard to make, not too hard to garnish. Really, not too hard to, like, do at all. And finally, on the hot-cold scale, we're once again looking all the way over to the cold side in a move that surprises, I'm sure, no one by this point. But yeah, that's kind of like the, I guess, the profile of the drink we're going for. So, little notes about this one. So, I knew I wanted to make a milk-based cocktail. Calcium for the skeleton VTuber. Now, whether I make milk-based cocktails for all of my skeleton friends, of which I have a concerning amount, well, maybe not a concerning amount, but more like, out of the VTubers I know, a lot of them are skeletons. And eventually I'm going to run out of milk-based cocktails. So, yeah. Ooh. Excuse me. Try to yawn and talk at the same time then. It did not happen. But yeah, I've got a lot of skeleton VTuber friends. This could be a problem in the coming... Yeah, well, incoming streams, but I've got time to work that out, yeah? But yeah, for this cocktail, definitely milk for a skeleton friend. And it ended up being a little bit more Christmassy than I hoped for, but it's a great comforting drink. Some of you who might have realised from the picture at the top right there that Undead Commander there is wearing kind of like a floral Hawaiian shirt, and like there's, you know, a picture of his model that's got like a little straw hat on. So, you know, he's a summary skeleton. Would you believe that it's also not the only summary skeleton I know? So I was playing around with milk drinks kind of as just drinks, like, you know, as a quick experiment for this stream. I found a drink that I was happy with, and I also found one that I think fit, you know, Undead's, I say, personality pretty well. So I'm going based on those kind of vibes over the model summary vibes. We are, yeah. Because I made this drink, I was really happy with it, and then I realized that, like, wait a minute, this is, like, 2 steps from being a Christmas drink for, like, the Hawaiian shirt skeleton. Oops. But yeah, we're rolling with it. So without further ado, let me present to you our first drink of the evening. The Bone Soothing Juice, which I would like to once again point out I have a lot of skeleton VTuber friends, and I've already blown the bleeding bone hurting juice, bone soothing juice joke. Send help. Or skeleton puns. Either way, I think I could make either of them work. Send a skeleton if you would. That's the only other one I know. I've blown that as well. Help. Oh. But right, anyway. Now let's switch over to Droid Cam. Hello stream. Let me just check that we are... Okay, we're for the most part moving smoothly. I'm going to take that. And then I'm going to resize this other window. There we go. So, our first ingredient in a bone-soothing juice cocktail. Just get my cans out. Whoops. We're off to a great start here. Just knock everything over. So, our first ingredient is going to be a bit of brandy. Now, I've got a brand new bottle here of 3 barrels. It's not potentially the fanciest brandy in the world, but I tried it with this particular brand when I was labbing it a couple of nights ago, and yeah, you know, it worked pretty well then, even if, you know, 3 barrels perhaps isn't my, you know, like, brandy of choice, but it works really well on this drink, so I'm going to give it credit where credit's due, and I'm going to use it in this drink. So, just crack the lid on this bad boy, and then and do this into the smaller shaker for now. That camera angle all right? Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, we want 1 ounce and 3/4 of this, so... There's our first ounce. And now we want another 3/4 or thereabouts. I'm going to call that... That's probably a bit more than 3/4 actually, but... You know what? We're going to go with it. 1 ounce and 3/4 of brandy. Our next ingredient, and we only want a little bit of this, because, again, we're trying to go for a, you know, I guess a mostly white drink to represent, you know, skeletons and all that. But I feel like this puts quite a nice little kick of flavour in it. We're going to be bringing back out our Kahlua from last week, which is coffee liqueur. And we just want a 1/4 of an ounce of this. So, I'll fling the cap for that over there, because it got stuck to my glove. And then we just want 1/4 of an ounce of this. So let's put that... Ooh. About that much, maybe? A splash more. Yeah, I'm going to say about that much. 1/4 of an ounce of Kahlua. There we go. Now, right. I've literally just spoke about the color, but, well, that may change, shall we say. Because my next ingredient is 1/2 an ounce of simple syrup. However, remember when I said I accidentally, I kind of like lay on my bed and then accidentally took a nap for 3 hours earlier? Yeah, what I should have been doing then was brewing more simple syrup, because I'm not sure whether you can see, but there's naff all left in the bottom of that. So I'm going to attempt to pour out 1/2 an ounce of simple syrup, and we're going to see how far we can get. I don't think I have enough, but maybe I've misjudged it and God will smile upon me. Come on, simple syrup. Oh, we gonna make it? Oh boy, we are not making it. Okay. So we're a little bit under on the simple syrup, which is a shame. But it's going to have to do. So, oh, hey. Oh, Artorias, I saw your post. What are you up to? Well, hello there, Undead. In fact, you've just reminded me that for people just coming to the stream, I haven't updated the text. So, let me update the text that we are now serving. On. Undead Commander. Oopsie. Apologies, it's taken a while. Typing one-handed is difficult. And I'm going to hope this fits as well. There we go. Does that all fit? Oh, okay, it does. Okay, I'll move my good self to the side. Oh, that looks really ugly. You know what I'm going to do instead? Can I knock the text size of this down a tad? Oh. Sadly, I have to work today, just lurking. Oh, no problem at all, Lunatel. Right, hold on. Size, let me knock this down to 90. Okay, there we go. That'll do nicely. Right, well, Undead, I'm making a cocktail, based on your good self. So, yeah, we are currently concocting the bone-soothing juice. Yeah, I have just, kind of rather unfortunately, run out of simple syrup a little bit before I need to. So this would technically be 1/2 an ounce of simple syrup. For now, we're going to run it at, like, just shy of that. It be do, you know? It be do. Get a one for Brad, too. Oh, yeah, Brad's one of my other skeleton, VTuber friends who I will be doing in the future. Like I said, I have a lot of skeleton VTuber friends, as it turns out. Right, so our next ingredient in this delightful little drink is we're going to do 3.5 ounces of, I'll show it here, just some milk. Like I said, you know, it's a skeleton-based drink. You've got to get that calcium. We're going to be throwing milk in this, and a decent whack of it as well at 3.5 ounces. So, let's carefully do this. 1. Here comes number 2. Moving on to number 3. There we go. And finally, that 1/2 an ounce. There we go. I have like an uber choppy connection at work. Well, no worries, man. I can't catch much, especially with troubleshooting glass printers. Oh, interesting. But yeah, it'll all be on the VODs. So, you know, if you're struggling now, thank you for stopping by anyway and just, you know, jumping through the wall. It's, yeah, first time I've had the person who I'm making the drink for actually in chat, which is great. But yeah, no worries if you're struggling here. The VOD will be on YouTube. Feel free to watch it then. And, yeah, let me know how I did. Let me know if you think you'd like the drink. But yeah, that's it. It's great news. Just like, I saw the tweet, what are you up to? Just like bursts through the wall. Oh. Right. So, that is most of our ingredients now. We just have one final little one. We're going to do a couple of drops of this here vanilla extract. Now, just a couple of drops, because obviously vanilla extract, strong stuff. You do not want to overkill it with that. So the way I normally like to do this is I'll just pour a little bit into the cap. Say about like that, and then we're just going to look for 2 drops. That's 1. Hoping this... I kind of got a better eyeline here. That's 2. There we go. Just a couple. No need to get crazy with it. Kool-Aid man. Oh, yeah! Certainly so. Right. Now, give me just 2 ticks. I have to go and get some ice. Which is like just the other side of the room to me. Because it's starting to get hot over here, so I can't just leave it nearby. I'll be back in just 2 ticks. Ice acquired. Right. What we're going to want to do with this ice is we're going to want to put... Oops. Well, I'm going to try and not punch my camera first. There we are. They've all frozen nicely from yesterday because I had to do a bit of a refill on these. We're going to put... about... yeah, 3 of these, I'd say, in here. And the reason why we're only doing 3, where I'd normally go like 4 or 5, is because in our glass here, we're also going to want to put decent few little rocks in there, shall we say. So we'll put like 4 in there, I believe. Should do. There we go. Right then. On to the shaking. So let's roll that all into there. And get going. Hey. And I'll do a bit of shaking next to the mic as well, for those of you who enjoy hearing the ice clank around. Go. Sounds like that's coming through. And a little more shaking to the front here. Well, sounds like most of that ice is gone, although that makes sense because A, it's blooming hot in here, and B, there was less ice in there than normal, I normally put in. Right, there we go. Whew. I can bring this closer to get the clean top off. There we go. Right. Ooh. Got off there as well. So, we'll now pour this out into here. Gonna hope there's enough room. Just about, yeah. And then, as a little thing to really finish this drink off, and to really ram home the oops, I've made a Christmas drink, we're going to just top it with a little bit of ground nutmeg. So I'm going to just very gently tap this. Get it coming out eventually. Hello? There we go. A little bit of that over the top of this. Hey. Oh, that's caught me glove in it. There we go. And there you have it. I think I'm gonna move my camera around a bit. Put that there. Move those back. There we go. And my sleeve up for that. There we go. 1 bone-soothing juice, which I'm going to take a quick picture of. And let's give it a try, shall we? Oh. That is like creamy and delicious in the best way. That is great. The nutmeg on top really makes that as well, actually. It's weird because, like, I made a prototype version of this and I put nutmeg on the top. I'm not sure that I put, like, too much on or something, or, like, the wrong bit of nutmeg. I don't know how I get the wrong bit out of this, mind you, but, like, I was like, damn, this smells kind of soapy. Good for the bones, bad for the liver. Anti-pixel, you've got it spot on there, yep. Oh. Yeah. Reminds me of the Valhalla track, Good for Health, Bad for Education, which also, for those of you who don't know, this is what the background music is. It's just the VA11 Hall A soundtrack, because that's all about cyberpunk bartending, so it felt fitting. Also, I really like the soundtrack. But yeah, this thing is creamy in the, like, the best way. I'm surprised the nutmeg is working as well as it is here, because it makes it feel almost kind of like, it's like almost biscuity at the top, I guess. Whereas, like I say, I tried putting nutmeg on this thing before, and I also tried, you know, just smelling that nutmeg raw, and I was like, this is kind of soapy, but no, here it works. I don't know why this is the one that's, like, the chosen one, but hey, at least it's the one on stream that's the chosen one, eh? Haha, I was able to sign in at my computer at work, let's go! Ah. Well, nice to have you with us. Here is, for your perusal, the bone-soothing juice. A cocktail based on you, my friend. And I've got to say, it's blooming good. Oh, it's really good. The brandy on that obviously does a lot of work in the, you know, making sure it's an alcoholic cocktail and that. But the little bits of the Kahlua and the vanilla extract kind of mingling together, also really nice. I'd go as far as to say, actually, I know I put in a bit less sugar syrup on account of having none left. I've just got the crystallized remains, which I'll have to, like, jab out at some point. But yeah. Oh, I'd say actually that's probably a pretty perfect amount. Maybe I do knock it down to like 1/4 of an ounce of sugar syrup. Definitely something I could play around with there. Because this is better than the prototypes I made. Oh. And it is just magnificent. Like, milk-based cocktails, really, really where it's at, I think, actually. I'm loving that a lot. I don't think there's anything else to say to it, but, like, obviously it's a fairly kind of, like, simplistic flavor profile drink, you know? It doesn't do any, like, crazy evolution like we've seen with some of the other drinks, but it's just, like, you know, it's very straightforward, it's very honest, I guess, you know? You could relate it to Undead in that way, and that it's very, like, you know, here's what it is, here is brandy, here is, like, some Kahlua and vanilla, you know, the milk tides it all over. Is it considered a dessert drink? I believe the cocktails I based it on, because, like, I did shop around for some other kind of milk-based cocktails. You'd either have, like, the White Russian, which is kind of where the Kahlua comes in, or you'd have, like, I believe it's called an Orlando Punch or an Orlando Smash, which is where the kind of, like, the brandy milk kind of ratios roughly come from. And, yeah, actually, I believe the Orlando Punch was used as, like, a breakfast drink to treat hangovers. I'm not sure how well that worked, but, I mean, it's a nice drink. So I guess it would make you a bit happier in the morning if you were feeling miserable. I could definitely see it being like a oh, Hold on. Sorry. Apologies if anyone heard that. I thought I put this thing on Do Not Disturb. I did. Oh, okay. Glad to know that doesn't stop that. But yeah, I guess you could totally consider it being, like, considered a dessert drink. Like, I could see, you know, it's in a similar sort of vein to, like, you know, an Irish or a Calypso coffee almost. Yeah, I could definitely see it being, like, a dessert drink. But right, anyway, yeah, that is, drink number 1 down. So, I am going to be just like 5 minutes, probably not even that, while I clean out my cans and get ready for the next drink. So I will be, like I say, be back in 5. Just hold tight for me for a second. Oh, you'd love the recipe, Undead? Well, I will be putting them in the stream description after this, after the stream's done. So, look there tomorrow, and they'll be there. Alrighty. And just like that, we are back. Right, thank you all for bearing with. Again, I know that I do these cocktail streams in somewhat of a suboptimal setup, but we make do with what we have here. You know, we are rustic living in a sense. Is how I'll spin it. Right, where's my... There we go. There's that. So, moving on from Undead Commander with that, I think, thoroughly successful drink, honestly. God, I love that thing. Our next VTuber of the evening is, and some of you might have guessed this from their silhouette, it is none other than, I've lost my cursor. Drum roll, please. We're looking at Hololive Advent's Koseki Bijou, who I'm going to be calling Bibu out of habit, because it Bibu. Oh. But yeah, so that's our second VTuber of the evening. Hell yeah. Getting some positive reactions from the crowd there, which is definitely a good sign. Right, so our 4 sliders for Koseki Bijou. Undead is breaking it down in chat. Oh, Antipixel the hell yeah as well. So anyway, our 4 sliders. Now, this first one might come as a bit of a shock, and I've got some explaining to do here, but on the sweet bitter scale, we're actually leaning... Okay, I've learnt this a little bit more bitter, but... Okay, let me explain, because I know some of you are going to be up in arms being like, what do you mean you didn't make, you know, Miss D the sweetest drink imaginable? And it's like, I know, there's a very valid point to be made there about that. But, and hear me out here, the drink isn't really bitter either. It kind of, I've done these on a sweet to bitter scale, but just because it leans more towards bitter here, I wouldn't say it's, there is some compliments to it, I take it. I'm not sure what you mean by that one, I'm afraid. Again, I might have been referencing a sentence I said a couple of times ago. I have the memory of a goldfish, so yeah, apologies about that. But yeah, so this drink isn't sweet per se. It's not really bitter either. If I had to give it a flavor, I would say it's kind of more leaning umami, maybe a little bit sour. But yeah, it kind of goes off that. Maybe I should have put the bar in sideways or something. But yeah, that's what we're going with on the sweetness bitter scale. For weak to strong, we are going fairly strong this one. Like, complementary flavors that accent the bitterness that is added in. You could say that, actually, yeah. Like I say, because there's definitely some bitterness coming through from some of the alcohols in there. In particular, this is a gin drink, so you get a lot of kind of, like, bitterness from that. But like I say, the main flavor comes from another ingredient, which I'll reveal in a minute. But yeah, we're looking kind of umami there. So, anyway, weak strong, we're going kind of like, you know, mid to high strength, I'd say. You know, this one... I'm not watering it down by anything. This is definitely a, you know, as opposed to the bone-soothing juice, which had, you know, like about 3.5 ounces of milk in it to make it just very dangerously drinkable, I should say. This one's a lot more of a slow sipper. This one's more like you take a sip, you're like, yes, this is, you know, this is quite classy. This is quite refined. On the complexity scale, we are going dead simple here. This is like 3 ingredients in a glass. Even the well, there's not really a garnish to say, but even the little kind of cosmetic stuff I've done to it is all just, you just throw that in the shaker as well. So, you know, you're not going to find many simpler drinks, I don't think. This one shouldn't take that long to make. Which is both great and also concerning, because I've only been streamed for like 35 minutes so far, and we are just blasting through these drinks. I do need to slow it down a bit, I think. Not rush myself. But yeah. So that's kind of the simplicity of the drink. And finally, on the hot to cold scale, we are going cold. I've put this here because it's not as cold as the bone soothing juice for Undead, because we're not serving this one on the rocks. But it is still a cold drink. I promise one day I'll do a hot drink. Like I say, I have a VTuber in mind who would do great for a hot drink, but it's also probably not worth doing her until October. If that gives anyone any clues. You know, very spooky themed, shall we say. So we'll try and get a hot drink in this year at some point. For now, though, we're keeping it cool. Particularly during this summer, because, dear lord. Right. So, when thinking about this drink, kind of very hurriedly after last week's stream. I was like, okay, we want something that's sparkly. We want something that's maybe purple. We want something that kind of is related to minerals. And I was like thinking, okay, how do I get is it pumpkin potion? No, but that's a good call. I ought to make a drink for her at some point because it's in the name. I can just make a pumpkin drink and have it be called the pumpkin potion. That is a really good idea, actually. The drink writes itself. Yeah, not the one I was thinking of, Undead, but a good idea. I'm stealing that. Okay. So sparkly purple related to minerals. Now, when you say related to minerals, you'll think, oh, okay, well, how do you, do you putting rocks in the drink? In a sense, we're going to make this one just a little bit salted. Just to bring out, so again, some of that umami flavoring. And also, another thing that I've got here is that, obviously, I really like this drink. However, unlike a lot of the other drinks I've made on this stream, I can't necessarily claim that, I was mashing a bunch of flavors together and rebalancing and seeing what worked like I did with, Crazy Ollie's Zomblusher from last week. This one is essentially just kind of like a cosmetically changed Sakura Martini. But I think I've done enough with the looks of it, and a little bit with the ingredient balancing on my own end to suit it to my tastes, that I'm happy presenting this as a drink that I think, hey, this is a cool drink that I think fits Bibu really well. So, without further yapping, let me now present to you Koseki Bijo's drink, the Bejeweled Blossom. Again, just a little reference to that Sakura Martini and the blossom there. So, I'm going to not rush through this and type this in. There we go. Koseki Bijo. On the... I hope I've spelled bejeweled right here. That feels like too many E's. In fact, hold on, let me double check that real quick. Gonna hope this doesn't mess anything up. Huh. Doesn't wanna, okay, never mind, I'll do it on here. No, that is right. Okay. Cool. My spelling is correct. Hooray. Finally managed to make it to one of these. Woo! Hi there, Moa. Nice to see you. Yeah. I think you normally manage to catch these, just a little late. But, yeah, you're right on time for our, second cocktail of the evening, which is a Bejeweled Blossom for Koseki Bijo. And I'm going to be making it now. So, let me turn my hand cam back on. Hello there. How's it going? Looking good tonight, everyone. Hey. Right, where's my recipe? It is here. I also need to stop speaking past the mic while I'm trying to look around. Hello, hand. Hello. So, our first ingredient, and something that you can maybe probably expect from a Sakura Martini, is 2.5 ounces of this beautiful stuff here, some sake. Master Hand Mixology, a Smash Bros. Production. Yeah, I've got Master and Crazy Hand right here. Unfortunately, though, my hands can't shoot lasers or turn into guns nearly as well. Can do that, though, so that's something. Although, yeah, with the amount of alcohol I've got on this, I think if I did smash this table, it would have disastrous consequences for the carpet underneath. But yeah, anyway, so I'm going to crack this open. Oh my god, I can actually do that on camera. Because the lid's loose enough. Let's go. Having these gloves on does make it a lot harder to open caps and close them and generally do a lot of stuff you need to do for cocktail making, but hey, we'll give it a go. So, first ingredient, and you can probably tell, with a name like the Sakura Martini, something Japanese was, probably on its way there in the ingredients list, and indeed, the main flavor of this, and that umami, is coming from this sake. So we're going to want 2.5 ounces of that. There is one. Oh, that's a weighty one. There we go. Don't spill it. Gonna go for a second. And finally, a half. There we go. There's all that good stuff. Right. Whoopsie. Let me put the lid back on this before something disastrous happens. Right. Oi. There we go. Right. Our next ingredient, and definitely an important part of this drink, and where it kind of differs from a 2 shots of vodka moment, pours an abhorrent amount of sake into the mixer. Oh. I ought to have done an April Fool's cocktail that was just that. Just like, yeah, we're going to be using some spiritus, and then, like, just throw an entire bottle in. The only problem is that then I poured out an entire bottle of spiritus, and that stuff is, not cheap, and also pretty lethal, even to do as a joke. I don't want to encourage that. We encourage responsible drinking here, even if it is very funny to have a 2 shots of vodka moment. But anyway, sorry, where was I? Oh yeah, so, this is where kind of this drink differs a lot from a traditional Sakura martini, is that instead of just using something like London dry gin, or, you know, maybe even some kind of flavor gin, we're going to be using this stuff, which is, I'll try and bring it up here. It is a color-changing butterfly pea Scottish gin, which you can see is this lovely kind of like deep blue color. Now you might be thinking, well, hang on, it's deep blue, you know. How are you going to make that purple? Well, look, I think I did this a while ago. This is like several months ago when I did a drink with this. I believe it was Tango's Trip to the Colony drink. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, it says it's color changing. I don't really know what that's about. I have discovered the secret of what that's about. It changes color based on the pH of the drink that it's in, or pH of the liquid it's in, I guess. Now, for those of you who didn't take chemistry, or have successfully, you know, repressed those memories, pH determines the acidity or alkalineness of a drink. So if you've got a more acidic drink, it'll be one color, but you've got it more alkaline, it'll be a different color. This thing kind of works like a reverse litmus test, essentially. Or litmus paper test, yeah. So, we are going to put in, how much of this? Just 1 ounce of the Peaflower Gin. There we go. 1 ounce of that. Going in. Then screw that back on. Our next ingredient. And we only want a very small amount of this, because the thing about this drink is that much like a crystal, this is Nito Burrito right now. Oh, great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Oh. Yeah, definitely means a lot to hear some support from the crowds there. Makes it all worth doing, you know? But, yeah. So, our next ingredient... In fact, I'm getting this out like I haven't already opened it and poured it. So, we're going to want a little bit of this, which is a Maraschino, which is a cherry liqueur. Now, as I said, the balance of flavors in this drink with the umami of the sake is quite delicate. And the Maraschino, for those of you who know it, is quite a potent liqueur. So we're going to want, like, not even 1/4 ounce of this, to be fair. So this is a 1/2 ounce. So I'm going to do about 1/4 of this, which would make an 1/8 ounce. We're going to... Again, just very gently. Like, I'd say about that much. Like, you do not want a lot of this because it's quite strong and it'll override the flavor if you let it. So just a little bit of that in there. Now, if we take a look at inside of our shaker at the minute, you're able to see that, like, okay, yeah, we're getting kind of purple. The Maraschino helped a bit. The sake helped a bit. But we could be more purple. That's where my next ingredient, this lemon, comes in. You can always cut it a bit by adding some saline to it, but that'll make it a tad salty. Funny you should say that, Undead Commander, because one of my my other ingredient would happen to be some salt, as mentioned earlier, when we said we're going to just make it a little bit salty. Because a Sakura martini is actually a like somewhat, like a very subtly salty drink. Like the lemon I'm adding in just to make the drink a bit more acidic and to get it more purple. The salt is actually important for the flavor profile of the drink. And I mean, like, I say important because I made this accidentally last night without the salt. And I was like, this tastes really off. And then I put just a little pinch of salt in. And I was like, yeah, that's what this needed. So, into our mixer, we're going to do literally 3 drops of this lemon juice. We do not want much. Like I say, it's a very delicate drink. I'm mainly doing the lemon juice here for cosmetic reasons, not really for flavor reasons. So, let's get this going. Just squeeze it a bit. There we are, just a couple of drops. Really not much lemon juice at all. And then we want a similar sort of story with the salt. Now, it says do a pinch here. A pinch with gloves is, I guess I can give it a go. But it's probably just going to stick to there, to be fair. The problem is that it's going to stick to my gloves. So. Working out what's the best way to do this. You know what? I reckon we can do it. I reckon if we're very careful. There we are. So, like, I'm just approximating a pinch here. You might not be able to see it on camera, but there are tiny bits of salt flying out. So I'm going to say that's about a pinch. You can kind of see it in the bottom there. Yeah, that should be fine. And finally, another thing that we don't want to add too much of, but we do definitely want to add some, is, as soon as I get the cap off, this stuff. Now this is some edible violet glitter, which is going to help with the color and also going to help it make it very, be very sparkly like a gem. So as soon as I can get the thing open, this is going all over my gloves. My gloves are going to look just fabulous by the end of this. Oh, my wife uses that for icing. Yeah. I'm going to use it, like here. And again, we just want a little bit of this. You can kind of tell if I hold it up correctly, like, yeah, when it hits the bottom of this. So we just want a little bit. How are we looking there? A little bit more. Yeah, that'll do nicely. Just to give the drink some added visual pizzazz, as it were. Right, now I'm hoping that that will help the color a bit. Do I need a bit more lemon in there? No, I'm gonna stick to my guns, and I'm also going to very quickly run and get some ice again. So again, back in just 2 ticks. Ice acquired. Just strap back in. Alright, so now a bit of a stronger drink this time, and obviously we don't have any ice in the glass, so I'm going to go for 5 of my little, I guess hexagonal trapezium ice cubes. There's 2. There's 3. Adding ice to a drink, also very important. Is this going to be garnished with anything? This one, not specifically, because, like I say, putting the edible glitter actually in the mix means that it has kind of enough visual pizzazz, as it were. Obviously, with the bone-hurting juice, or the bone-soothing juice from earlier, I did add a little nutmeg on there for, a bit of flavor and a bit of... Whoops. Well, I have no idea where that ice cube's gone, but it's not here anymore. Oops. Oh, well. Oh, god damn it. I'm dropping them everywhere. There we are. There's our 5th cube. Right. Done. Genuinely would love to know where that other 4th ice cube went, but oh well. So. Let's roll all that into here. And give this a shake. And again, a bit of behind the mic for those of you who like hearing the ice cubes clank around. Obviously going to take a bit longer for the ice cubes to, Mixology ASMR is underappreciated. Yeah, honestly, I could probably do a proper stream where I do a full... Maybe I should do a full ASMR cocktail stream at some point. Because obviously I know I've got, like, the bleeding Valhalla tunes, you know, blaring in the background, and I've got me talking over it. But, yeah. Definitely an idea there. Right. Let's shake this a little more. Oi. And let's serve, shall we? So. Whoop. Oh, okay. I might have overdone the glitter a bit, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Just gonna pour this straight out. There we go. Look at that. Fantastic. Properly sparkles as well, because of all that glitter in there. Whew. God, if anything, that's much better in motion when it's like being poured than that, I'd say. But still, we have like a cosmic pool of stars and auroras. Poetically put, and also I fully agree. So, let me, with my very purple thumb, take a photo of that for Twitter later. So that is one bejeweled blossom. Let's give it a taste. Yep. That's pretty spot on. I think for me personally, actually, I could have added a little more salt there. So do you finish these drinks after stream? Yes, I do. That's my after stream treat, is that I get to, you know, down both of these. The rum! Almost rum, solo poker. We're actually looking at Brandy here. To get saucy after the stream, yeah. The after hours, after a stream are, interesting, shall we say. Particularly when I make a couple of strong drinks on stream. It's Brandon. I mean, you can call him Brandon if you want. Oh, but yeah, anyway, sorry. I should probably actually analyze this drink I've just taken a sip of. So, obviously, beautiful looking thing. Definitely super cool, super refreshing. I love one of those in this heat that I'm currently in. It's very spirit forward. You're obviously getting a lot of the kind of like the umami flavor of the sake, and the kind of like bitterness of the gin. But then they're kind of held up, honestly, by little notes of the salt and the lemon. I'd say the lemon helps kind of like stop the spirits being too overwhelmingly forward, and the salt helps bring out like those little extra flavors, so like, you know, the little extra umami in the sake, and the little kind of like finer points of the maraschino. And the glitter makes it all look fantastic. Like I say, it's a simple, really, like, 3-ingredient drink. I love this cocktail for Bijou. Absolutely, yeah. This is like I say, you know, it's purple, it's glittery, it's very delicate flavors. It's, like, I think it fits to a T. Which is why I said, you know, okay, fair enough. I haven't made, you know, an overwhelmingly sweet drink for Miss Colon D. But, you know, there's enough other factors that line up here that I think, yeah, I've rather outdone myself, if I do say so myself. That's so good. I drink it because it's purple. I mean, interesting criteria, but hey, I'm not gonna argue with that. If you're gonna drink it because it's purple, allow me to make it purple and also taste pretty damn good. Whew. Wait, gee, mama. To be fair, I thought I'd overdone the glitter. Like, this is definitely more glitter than I did in the trial one. Let's see if I can just slowly move it around to get some glitter movement. Not particularly. I think this is showing up all right on camera. Oh my god, so glad I could catch this stream. Oh, Zal, welcome on in. Well, yeah, Zara, if we're going by your katakana there. I like drinks based on colours. Pretty colour make brain happy. You know, I respect that, honestly. And there's a lot of kind of like mixology stuff that you can do with like different drink colors. Like a lot of people write off things like like blue curacao or like other things that like make drinks more visually appealing. But I'm thinking if I'm gonna, it's why I've started taking more of an interest in garnishes and how the drinks look. Because before, I think in my first, stint of these cocktail streams, I very much focused on, I've got to make these drinks like, flavor-wise sound first and foremost. So we'll focus on that, as the priority there. So that if anyone does go off and make them, they'll be like, okay, that guy actually vaguely knows what he's doing. But obviously for people watching the stream, it's all very well saying like, oh yeah, this drink is great. You speak my language. Hell yeah. Oh. Well, certainly glad to get a fellow cocktail connoisseur in here then, Zal. Sorry, I had to take another sip of this because it's really good. But yeah, like first and foremost, I wanted to make cocktails that were really good. I think it's also the case that the VTubers themselves are really visual, like it has to match their appearance. Yeah, no, this is what I was getting onto as well. It's like, VTubers obviously put a lot of effort into their visual appearance. And obviously from a stream watching point of view, everyone likes, to see a good cocktail being made. Everyone loves to see a good cocktail being made that looks snazzy. So, particularly over the past couple of streams, I've tried really hard to make sure that the visual elements of the cocktails are, live up to the standards I've set for the flavors. And like I say, I think I did that last week brilliantly with Echo Gummy's Brainworm and Crazy Ollie's Zomblusher. Definitely little bits of garnish on there. Were a bit goofy in places, but I think they worked really well. And then you do eat with your eyes first. Damn, Zal's spitting facts, yeah. I absolutely agree with that. Like, if something looks enticing, you're going to drink it, but you have to get, it's almost like marketing. You have to get people through the door to try to actually try the tasty thing first. But yeah, so now I'm kind of making drinks that are, flavorfully sound. And like I said, this is essentially, like a kind of a bit of a retrofitted Sakura Martini. So I was pretty much covered there. But the visual is what I went really hard on with this drink in specific. And like I say, it's purple, it sparkles. It's a delicate flavor, it fits Bijou, which I might have already said. But hey, it's not wrong, I'll say it again. Ooh. Yeah. Then it's the bartender's job to deliver a tasty drink after gaining that trust. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, yeah. God. Nice to have you around, Zal. Ooh. Right, so yeah, that would be... In fact, I'll get the other one on. Basically, the ice is melted in this one now. But, yeah, there we are. I'll get the drink we made a bit earlier. Yeah, a couple of your things have been recommended on my feed. Oh, that's cool. That's so cool, actually. Ah. Well, I'd say thank you very much for showing up then, Zal, and like, taking this. I'm just looking for a fellow bartender VTubers that also bartend. Well, I certainly make drinks, like I say. I aim for once a month, do one of these cocktail streams. I've done 2, like, over the past couple of weeks because I was a bit behind on that schedule. But yeah, I have a library of about 11 other of these streams. Well, this is the 11th one. I've got 10 other of these streams going from, like, very humble beginnings almost, God, a year and a half ago now, to, yeah, kind of where we're at today. But yeah, like, I've never bartended in a professional capacity, but I do enjoy fucking around with, different bits of alcohol. Which is how I come up with some of these things. Oh. But yeah, so on tonight's stream, we've made, like I say, the bone-soothing juice for Undead Commander, and the, Bejeweled Blossom for Kosuke Mojo. It's okay, I'm also a home bartender. Huh. Oh, I'll have to, You've done fantastic the past few times I've caught your streams. Oh, you guys are making me blush over here. Thank you all very much. It's very touching to hear that from all of you. Oh. Yeah, I don't know what to say, honestly. It's it's very gratifying and very reassuring to hear that. And Zal, if you also do some like home bartending stuff, if you do any of that on your channel. Twitch and YouTube. Yep, I'm simulcasting this to Twitch and YouTube at the same time, but the VODs will all be on YouTube. There should be a playlist on there that I've made, which will have like all of the different episodes on. And yeah, I do, great. Well, yeah, I'll have to also check out your stuff as well then, because it'd be great to check out a fellow bartender. Oh, Zal Music YT Bop. Is that? I'm assuming that's also you, Zal. Yeah. Oh, it's touching to have a drink made with me in mind. Well, Undead, like I say, I like to do bigger VTubers, but another thing I'm trying to do as late is that I think I want to, much like I saw your tweet earlier, actually, Undead, where you were saying like I want to give platforms to like other people who are doing cool things. I want to make drinks for people who I think are cool. So my VTuber friends, my smaller VTubers who maybe other people haven't heard of, who I think are doing cool. I'm gonna make some cocktails for them because that sounds dope, and also it gives me a variety of different designs and personalities and stuff to work with for these drinks, and it pushes what I can do. Gives me far more options, shall we say? And I think like the people who I make drinks for deserve them. Absolutely. Oh, God, that's so soothing. It's like kind of an alcoholic coffee milkshake. I know I've already done the flavor on this one, but I'm just kind of doing them both now because, like, normally I'd jump off here, but like honestly, I'm enjoying chatting with chat rabbits. So I'm just gonna keep these on screen and just keep this going for a little bit. Yeah, I've been more consistent streaming on Twitch lately. Oh, okay. Do you yeah, I'd say, do you have like a VOD channel as well, or is it just past broadcasts on Twitch? Because like I'll check them both out, or whichever ones. Probably I'll check the VOD channel out if you've got one. If not, I'll just check the past Twitch stuff. But yeah, I'm about that. For a fellow bartender, why not? I've recently reorganized my YouTube channels. Oh, okay, yeah. Which is fair play, It's good to give these things a spring clean and everything. Been trying to separate my music and VTuber stuff. Also fair, yeah. As someone who prints on these types of cups for a living, I appreciate this happening. You're amazing art. No, you're breathtaking. To pull out a meme from quite a while ago. Something else, actually, and a rather silly thing that I think makes this also fit Bijou, is that I've made a purple drink here. Now, we all know Bijou, or Bibu, likes her VTuber, well, likes her, not necessarily just her VTuber memes, but her kind of like new age memes, I want of a better word. And I'll be damned if this doesn't look a little bit like lean. What's in the Bibu drink? It is, 2.5 ounces of, in fact, I'll get the ingredients up here, because I've still got them over the back. So, it is 2.5 ounces of sake, which I've got this isake here. 1 ounce of this butterfly pea Scottish gin, which is this lovely blue colour. Just about 1/8 of an ounce of maraschino cherry liqueur. Oh, a sake cocktail. Yeah, because it's originally based off a drink called a sakura martini, but I've retrofitted it to be a bejeweled blossom. That's where the blossom bit comes in. But yeah, we've also got about 1/8 of an ounce of maraschino, and then just literally a couple of drops of lemon, a pinch of salt, and a healthy amount of this edible purple glitter to make it really sparkle. And yeah, that's that one. And then for this other drink, which I shall also recite the ingredients to now, just as a quick one. So, Undead, if you're listening, this is what's in your drink. So we are starting off with, for this one here, 1 ounce and 3/4 of brandy. I've got 3 barrels here, but like any decent brandy will do. About 1/4 of an ounce of, Kahlua, which is this coffee liqueur. We've then got half an ounce, or just under in my case, but it was meant to be half an ounce of simple syrup. For those of you who don't know what simple syrup is, what you do is you put 2 parts sugar to 1 part water in a pan. You boil it up till it all kind of like dissolves together. Then you let it cool down, you bottle it, you put it in the fridge. And that is simple syrup. It's just liquid sugar, essentially. And you prefer liquid sugar to solid sugar in a cocktail because it mixes better with the other ingredients. So yeah, you got about half an ounce of that. 3.5 ounces of milk. So yeah, I hope you or the missus there, Undead, aren't lactose intolerant or anything. So I know it's a bit more common across the pond, as it were. Then a couple of drops of vanilla extract. And finally, we topped it off with a little bit of ground nutmeg. And then that makes this drink right here. Which, I love both of these. They're very different drinks. So it's a saketini, but I never thought about adding a pinch of salt. Yeah, no, I think the pinch... Honestly, I made this without the pinch of salt when I was kind of, like, experimenting with this last night, getting ready for stream. And I was like, something's missing from this. And then I added that pinch of salt, and I was like, yeah, that's it. That brings the sake, like... That brings the flavors of the sake so much more to the forefront. And also just helps, like... I'm giving it another sip to remember what I'm saying. I'm not just drinking these for the sake of drinking them, I promise. But, yeah. Yeah, that little pinch of salt makes a subtle but, I think, essential flavor difference for me. It, like, helps bring out the best bits of the sake. It helps kind of, like, mute some of this. I'll test this someday with a saline solution. Yeah, you can do it with saline solution, yeah. Well, it means because obviously saline solution is just, like, water and salt, basically. I've obviously gone with just the classic pinch of salt kind of method of doing it. But yeah, definitely very valid. I have salt in my cocktails before, but I'm always hesitant for stirred, stiff drinks. Yeah, that's fair. Like, that is, you know, at the end of the day, people want to drink these things to taste good, and that generally means, you know, in a lot of cases, making them sweeter. But I think there's definitely some, like, interesting things you can do when you go off the path of that. It's why I'm trying to use gin more in some of these cocktails, because gin, historically, like, you know, I'm a big fan of rum. Rum is great in, you know, like, you know, your tiki drinks, your things you put a lot of fruit juice in, your things you put lots of, you know, kind of sweet stuff in. And to an extent in cocktails, your whiskey and your brandy are in that same sort of vein. But gin is hardly ever that. Rum is the only medicine. Oh, I've mentioned rum. Solo Poker's popped up. Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, I'm glad to see that you're a fellow rum enthusiast, Solo Poker. But yeah, back to the point I was on. Gin, I feel, is like very much less geared to being super sweet. Like if it's gonna be fruity, it's definitely more in that like kind of bitter citrusy thing, or it's like pine needly. You know, it goes of a very different, you know, a very different route to rum and, you know, I guess in this case, brandy. So it's a drink I want to experiment with more. Not necessarily the butterfly gin every time, just maybe some London Dry, some Tanqueray will do, you know. But yeah, more gin drinks, more, you know, of that refined kind of like, that refined flavor profile. But yeah, anyway, yeah. Some are piney, some are flowery, some are citrusy. Yeah, you get it, Zal, yeah. Right, anyway. I think, that will probably do me for this stream. So let me, turn off my droid cam a second. Yeah. I think, yeah, that'll do me for this stream. Thank you very much for coming along and chatting with me, particularly at the end there. It's fantastic to find a couple of other enthusiasts, honestly. That's why we do this, you know? Find like-minded people who think this stuff's cool, or make drinks for cool people. Yeah, and hope that I can convert them to being like-minded about cocktails. You know? 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, as it were. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. As I say, I'll get the recipes for these drinks put in the description of the YouTube VOD by the end of tomorrow. There's also on my YouTube, you know, like 10 other of these streams, which is 20 other VTuber-related cocktails. Also, Your Love as a Drug from Valhalla has just started playing, and I'm kind of vibing to it. Love that. I'd love to poke your brain sometime about drinks. Well, yeah, sounds like it'd be an interesting conversation. By all means, hit me up, yeah. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I've been Artorius Winchester, and I'll see you next time. Farewell.